money thing. It takes a lot of money, and unfortunately, I don't have a lot of money. My opponent has millions, and I have a few tens of thousands of dollars. But what I do have is, I have a work ethic like you've never seen before. At St. Dominic's, I actually worked a 7-day shift, 7/24s, 168 hours. I will burn up shoe leather, I will knock doors, and I need volunteers to hand out push cards. Grab yourself a stack in the back there. Take 10 of them and hand them to 10 people you know, and give them 10 and pass it on. Together, we can be an agent for change for all of Mississippi and for all of America. Thank you. Time is up.
Yes. In addition to social media, we also do have letters, we have phones, but the most important way that I have trying to reach out to people so far in my campaign is canvassing. I will say I thoroughly enjoy canvassing because it's a way to directly talk to people in the community. And I'll say from my experience, from the neighborhoods that I have tried to canvass in, unfortunately, a lot of people tell me that I am the first candidate to ever come and knock on their door and actually try to tell them about what I want to do if elected to be their next elected official. And so I want to get out into the community, and I also want to go to more community meetings. You know, to be present, so that when you see me, you can ask me questions, I can give you the information you need, and so that we can have a better relationship.
I've been doing this for 20 months, and a United States Senate seat is a statewide thing. There's no district, it's the whole state. Both senators have the entire state. And one of the things that we did in order to make sure that we are bringing younger people into the process is for this campaign, we created what's called the Student Ambassador Program, where we had students from just about every major college across the state. Jackson State, Alcorn, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, USM, work on our campaign over the summer to help us with our social media, but also them too, to create opportunities for me to come to their campuses in the fall when school starts. So we've already been to Ole Miss. We're going to Mississippi State. We're coming to Jackson State twice, and they're getting ready to set something up at Alcorn. Now they are involved in the process where, unlike most candidates who are afraid to stand in front of students because they ask hard questions, I'm going to those campuses to answer those questions and treat them like the Americans and the voters that they are, with respect.
Thank you. And now, more questions? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. If elected, what is your 30-day, 60-day, 90-day plan? Whichever you want.
45 seconds.
45 seconds. Not if. When I am elected, my plan is simple. I'm going to follow what I call an E3 principle. E1 deals with education. Education is paramount to maintaining our position as a world leader. And we need to train that next group of students to be doctors, lawyers, tradesmen, but we also need to talk about the people that have been incarcerated, because we need to break that cycle. E3 deals with economics. We need to be bringing jobs back to America instead of pushing jobs away. We need to talk about fair taxation, such as eliminating tax on Social Security, eliminating inheritance tax, and E3 deals with energy. Energy is the lifeblood of the American economy, and we need to use all forms of energy, whether we're talking about clean coal, wind, solar, nuclear, natural gas. We need all forms of energy because it's a national security issue.
I'll focus on 30 days because I want to tell you about things I know I can do for sure. First off, I want to increase knowledge of election commission meetings, because I'll ask this crowd, how many of you have ever heard of an election commission meeting? One, and I know her. Two, look around, that's not enough. And so, in addition to first off, just telling people that we do have these meetings, I want people to be able to find out when they will be held, and I'll say with the website, for the longest the website was not updated with the current month dates for our meetings, and I also want to have those meetings be live streamed, because a lot of people can't come to a meeting in person, especially in Jackson, Mississippi. We represent the whole county, and so these meetings need to be live streamed, and I also want to make sure that people actually know exactly when they will be held.
Simple, supporting policies on the federal level that benefit everyday Mississippians. Addressing those issues that hurt our state the most. We're last in infant mortality, last in maternal mortality, first in diabetes. So making sure that I'm supporting policies that make sure that Mississippians can have access to quality, affordable health care. We're near last in education, making sure that the resources that are necessary to make sure that our children are educated properly, our schools are funded properly, and that our teachers are paid what they are due would be paramount as a United States Senator in Washington, D.C. Lastly, our economy. When resources are available, when bills come across the United States Senate that affect Mississippians and creating better jobs in our state, making sure that I support those bills, regardless of which policy put them forward, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, making sure that I support policies that benefit Mississippians.
Thank you so much for your great responses, and now we will get to the say your final remarks.
Well, you've got a little chance to learn a little bit about me. And I'll tell you, when I look across America right now, I see that America's at a crossroads. And that crossroads, we can either go to the left or we can go to the right. On one side, there's people that are trying to take us and make us into a communist nation. On the other side, there's a bunch of conservatives. And the rest of us is probably somewhere in the middle. And when I look at America, it's not a red America, a blue America, a white America, a black America. We're all Americans. And we must be united for the common good. And, you know, if you look back in your Bible, in the books of Luke and Matthew, a kingdom that is divided is a house that will fail. Well, our founding fathers also talked about this. Patrick Henry, in his last public address in March 1799, united we stand, divided we fall. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we must be united for the common good for all of Mississippi and for all of America. And these are the reasons why I'm running for Congress. People don't, they want to keep us divided, because if we're divided, we're easier to control. And when I look at these things, it upsets me. And, you know, I took an oath back when I joined the military back in the 70s, and that oath had no expiration date. It was to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And by God, we've got a lot of domestic enemies right now that are trying to destroy our nation and our way of life here in Mississippi. Recently, I've gotten a bill introduced to the Mississippi State House, HB 1250. It would have put the Holy Bible back in every classroom in the state. And people think this is kind of crazy, but it's actually in our state constitution. Article 3, Section 18 of the Bill of Rights in the Mississippi State Constitution states in the last line, the Holy Bible is part of the school system and shall not be removed. I'm Ron Eller. I'm looking for your endorsement on November 5th. I've had lots of national endorsements, whether it's the Mid-South Tribune, which is a black newspaper, Black Pack, the Police Benevolent Association, big organizations are looking at me rather than my opponent. I appreciate your time and thank you for coming out this evening.
The night after the ballot shortage, I was watching a podcast. And on this podcast, they said that we never have to worry about Hinds County stealing an election, because Hinds County doesn't know how to conduct an election. You know, on this campaign trail, when I tell most people about the Election Commission, they tell me it's a joke. They tell me that they don't know what they're doing. They tell me all these other negative things that show me that people don't have confidence in the commission. They don't have faith in the work they're doing, if they even know the work they're doing. And to me, that's a serious problem, especially in Hinds County, considering we are the blackest county in this state. And we have so much power. But unfortunately, people think we're an afterthought. They think that we don't know how to govern ourselves. They think all of these negative things about us. And I'll steal from Vice President Kamala Harris and say, it is time for us to turn the page. It's time to change the narrative. And we change the narrative by having new leaders, new faces, new energy, people who actually want to see this community improve. Because I am from this community. I want to grow old in this community. I want to raise children in this community because I know we have so much potential, but it's going to take people like me and other people who want to see this type of change. It's going to take us getting into these places and actually doing the work. For example, like this candidate forum, things like this. You need people in office who do the work and who are also show up for you. So on November 5th, vote Jeremy Gray to be your next Hinds County District 3 Election Commissioner. Thank you.
The problem in Washington, D.C. right now is that we have people in office who lack courage. They lack the courage to do what's right for everyday Americans and everyday Mississippians. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, whether you are white or black, whether you are a woman or a man, whether you are a member of the LGBTQ plus community or you are straight. On January the 6th, what happened to our country hurt, and it hurt deeply. We had a president of the United States orchestrate an attack on the democracy that we love, the democracy that I fought for, the democracy that he served for, the democracy that you depend on. A president of the United States orchestrated an attack on that democracy. And my opponent is a veteran. And he has embraced, endorsed, and continues to enable the person that orchestrated an attack on our democracy. And that democracy is on the line in this election season. Make no mistake, absolutely everything is up for grabs this year. Women's reproductive freedoms is on the line. Education is on the line, what our children learn. Healthcare, access to it on the line. And our democracy. That is why this is so important. And as a veteran who has fought for this country, who has seen soldiers not come home from combat, this is extremely personal and important to me. And I will not sit back while somebody like Roger Wicker, one, embraces the person that did this to our country, and two, has the audacity to not show up when you all set aside your time to show up and hear him. We need to get this person out of office and send him back to Tupelo, Mississippi, because if you cannot respect voters, if you cannot respect Mississippians, you don't deserve to hold this office. This is your office, not mine and not his. TyPinkins.com, T-Y, P as in Paul, I-N-K-I-N-S.com. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you all for this great occasion. We have completed answering questions. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the candidates that came today for this great occasion, the 2024 Elections Candidate Forum.
Thank y'all so much. Yes, I am so grateful to see all of you, but I'm also very grateful for my team, for again, Miss Hannah and Mr. Chris over here. Mr. Chris, oh my gosh, y'all. I will say this is very much a live show. And there's been a lot of things that got us to this moment, but I'm so grateful that you all came out today. And I hope that we continue this energy. I was very intentional about having this forum right after the presidential debate, because you don't need to just focus on federal elections. They're very important though, yes, very important. Please will vote for those too. But we have so many things on the local level that will truly impact you. Our judges, our senators, our representatives, and also your election commissions. And so thank you all again for coming out, and I hope that we can have more, or better yet, I will say, as your next election commissioner, I will be doing more events like this to engage you. So thank you all again, and have a good night.
Did it die?
Yeah, that all the time.
Time to go. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Thank you so much. Pretty good. Oh, nice to meet you.
Hey, if you like this, you can come on my podcast, man.
Yes, sir. I would love to. When do y'all shoot it? I'm gonna be getting.
I schedule them when